Hey fam, what's up? How's it going? This is Dr. Princess, your education strategist, here just coming to you for a little while just to share some information. Listen, fam, yesterday I shared a post and I asked you all how you were doing with the whole homeschooling of your kids. And some of you all, fam, fam, you all are, honestly, you all are too funny. You have people putting their kids outside, people saying children stealing from the lunchroom, people taking 3-hour PE breaks. Really, fam, it is just amazing. You all have had my babies for 1 week. 1 week. Auntie baby's already calling. I can hear them calling me saying, Auntie, come get me. Because my mom, my daddy, they acting crazy. They don't know what to do with me. Fam, you all have had my babies for a week. And I understand. You're not used to it. You're not used to kids doing all the things that they're doing. But now you see why the teacher is calling you, asking you to help them teach your children. So all games aside, I wanted to come and to share some things with you all, just some tips about what you all can do to kind of help this process. But first, let me say this. I remember a couple of years ago, I visited my cousin out of town, and it was her baby shower. And, we were getting prepared for the baby shower, so on and so forth. But when I walked in her house, I was absolutely floored. Why? Because I could not believe everything that she had done getting ready for the baby. She had, of course, all the furniture, the crib, the changing table. She even had stuff that I didn't even know they even made because, my son is much older now. And she had the walls painted beautifully. She had the name on the wall with the little wooden letters painted beautifully. And it was just amazing how she had everything in place, even down to the tiniest, smallest detail. The smallest detail. Those plastic things that you put in the wall to keep the kids from sticking things in the wall, in the socket? She even had those. She had everything. She had the little Band-Aids with the little cartoons on them. She had the aspirator, which is, that's what it's called, the aspirator that you put in the child's nose to remove the mucus. It's called aspirator. She even had that. She was a brand new mom, and she really was going overboard. I felt like she was going overboard trying to get ready for the baby, but she wasn't going overboard. That's not what she was doing. What she was doing was she was baby-proofing her home. Let me say that again. She was baby-proofing her home. What do I mean by that? Now, wait a minute. I don't mean that she didn't want the baby there. What I mean is that she was getting prepared for the baby to be successful in her home, in their home. She was getting prepared because she knew that the baby was coming. She had everything that the baby was ever going to need, at least for the first couple of months, because she was a new mom. She definitely could not figure out everything that the baby needed, but she was preparing for her baby to come. She was baby-proofing her home. So fam, let me ask you this. How many of you have success-proofed your home? Let me say it again. How many of you have success-proofed your home, ready for your child's success? What evidence, if I walked in your home right now, what evidence can I see that success lives there? Because when I walked in my cousin's home, I already knew that a baby either was there or was on the way. From the stuffed animals to the crib to the fitted sheets on the bed, everything, the cleanliness of the home, I could tell that a baby was on the way. But if I walked into your home right now, could I tell that success lives there? Could I tell that you have been preparing for your child's success? Now, let me say this. I've been there, so Auntie gonna help you. Auntie came so that I can help my babies with their babies. So just hold on for a second. I have some notes over here because I want to make sure that I don't forget anything. So when I'm going to give you all a couple of tips today that is going to help you make your home successful, to have an educational, successful environment for your children. I am going to give you a couple of tips today. The first tip that I want to give you is, number one, I want you to organize your space. I want you to make sure that your space is organized, that your children are able to do their homework and do everything they need to do in an organized space. Now, what is that going to look like? Well, first of all, we're going to have to declutter. So what I want you to do, take this time, now that we have the time, you have the kids at home, take the time to go through their book bags. Open them up, clean that stuff out of there. You want to go ahead and get rid of anything, any old papers. You want to go ahead and get rid of anything that's torn, anything that's worn out, any of those, the notebooks where the 3 clamps come together in the middle. Some of the clamps, y'all, looking like this because the clamps just don't even come together anymore. That notebook is not any good. Take the paper out and throw it away and get something new. Some of your kids have notebooks that are all torn and ripped. They have folders that the middle part, the duotang folders where the middle part is coming apart. Throw that stuff away. You don't need any of that. So what you're going to start doing is you're going to go through your kids' book bag and you are going to make sure, and you're going to do this with them. Let me make that clear. This is not something that you're doing on your own. This is something that you and your child are doing together. If you have multiple children, get them all together, have them all come together and clean out that clutter in their book bag. You want to throw away old pencils and pens that don't work. You want to throw away old sharpeners and things that just don't work. Because why do they need that stuff? They don't need that stuff because all of that is keeping them from being organized. So the very first thing you want to do is organize their book bag. But it doesn't stop there, because remember what I said, you are success proof in your home. You want to make sure that your home is evident that success lives there. So in addition to their book bag, you want to clear out any area in their bedroom or their study area that is cluttered. So go pull that stuff from up under the bed, get the broom, the mop, and rake that stuff from up under that bed. Make sure that old clothes, uniforms, socks, shoes that are too small that they can't wear and nobody else is going to wear either, throw that stuff away. And you will be surprised at the things that you find under your children's bed. That's right. Old homework that they say they turned in, old projects. You want to make sure that all of that stuff is cleared out. If they have a study area, if they have a desk or a study nook, you want to go in and you want to clear and declutter that as well. Because when it's time for them to look for something, they can't find it because it's all cluttered all in that area. So the very first thing you want to do, fam, is you want to go and make sure that your children's book bag, their lunch bag, their after school bag, maybe they have some type of sports activity, their bedroom, under their bed, their study area, their study nook. You want to make sure that all of those things are clean, are clutter-free, and clean out. Okay? That is step number 1. You want to declutter the area. But then there's also a second step when it comes to organizing. Once you've cleaned out all of the things that they don't need and you've thrown away things, you want to now start to separate what is needed for school and what's not. A lot of times kids have things in their book bags or things in their area that they needed months ago, but they no longer need. So you want to make sure that you separate. It might still be good, but they don't need it right now. So you want to separate those things that they don't need from those things that they do need. And then once you do that, you want to take everything that is not needed for now and you're going to sit that to the side. And then the things that they need right now, what you're going to do is you're going to go through that with them, remember with them, and you are going to organize those materials. You want to make sure that you're going to organize it by subject area. So put all the math with the math, the reading with the reading, the science with the science, so on and so forth. And then you want to help them, once you have it organized by subject area, you want to help them put it together in chronological order by date. Okay, so they may have information in their notebook that they did at the beginning of the school year, but they still need it. Things like study guides, don't throw that stuff away. They may need that, and if they don't need it now, sometimes they may need it later on. Many of you parents are saying that you need help now that we are in the quarantine, and you're saying that you need help, and the kids have a lot of definitions and things that you don't understand. Well, a lot of that information is right there in that notebook. It's just that you can't find it. So what you want to do is you want to chronologically put those things in order by date. Okay, so the latest, which is the earlier part of the school year when they start in August, should be in the back all the way up to the front. So from August all the way to March. So you're going to see the March at the very beginning, and then it's going to go back in their folder. And you're going to do that with them for every single subject area that they have. And this is extremely important for those students who are in the upper elementary grades as well as the middle school grades, because we want them to already have these skills by the time they get into high school, and of course by the time they get into college, because they need these skills so that they can be successful. Okay, remember what I said. We are trying to set our children up for academic success, and you want to make sure that your home is a success-proof home, or a home that is evident that success lives in your environment. Okay, so those are two tips just under organization. You want to, one, make sure that you declutter their area, and two, once things are decluttered, you want to separate what they need now from what they don't need, and then you want to put those things in chronological order by date so that they are organized by subject area in their book bag. So that's number one. You want to make sure that the kids are organized. The second thing you want to do is you want to take inventory and you want to stock up. What do I mean by that? You want to take inventory of those things that you already have. Remember, I said you're going to set aside those things that you don't need right now. Well, guess what? Some of that stuff you don't need now, but the children may eventually need it. So things like extra notebooks, extra pens, extra pencils, an extra calculator or something like that. Sometimes they even have extra clothing, a hat or gloves or sweaters or things like that. You want to make sure that you take an inventory of all of those things that they currently have now. Once you take inventory of those things that they have now, you want to go ahead and you want to stock up on those things that they do not have that you know they're going to need. So for example, if you know that as you were organizing their book bag that they don't have enough folders for certain subjects, you want to go ahead and make sure that you give them, or make sure that they get those extra folders. That can either come from the stockpile of things that they had to the side, or you may actually have to go out and buy. Of course, we can't go out and buy that stuff now, but you can write a list of those things that you're going to need eventually. Okay, and then once you have the list of everything that you are going to need, you want to make sure that you label all of those items. So they need to have a reading folder, a math folder, a science folder, a social studies folder, and so on and so forth, depending on what grade level your kid is in. And you want to make sure that these things are not just there, but that they are organized in their book bag. Now, I want to talk to my parents of children that have disabilities. Sometimes children may have a diagnosed disability. Sometimes it might not even be diagnosed, but you know that your child needs a little extra help more than the average child. We see this a lot with children who have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD. Sometimes those children, our children with disabilities, need a little more than just you telling them to go and organize. Sometimes they need explicit instruction and direction for you to actually say, this is how you organize, okay? Because to them, when they walk in or they open up their book bag and they see all of this stuff, they become super overwhelmed and they don't know which way to go. So they just leave it and they don't even go to it. So what we want to do is we want to explicitly teach them, show them, train them, sit side by side, go over it with them, go over it more than once, give them a chance to walk away, to kind of calm down, get themselves together, and come back and tackle the task again. What we don't want to do is we don't want to get frustrated. We don't want to start blaming, like, you shouldn't have had all this stuff in your book bag, and why you got all this stuff? Okay, they have it in their book bag. They are not organized. We get it. this is not the time for us to start playing the blame game. And I know, I've been there. I know that sometimes you get so frustrated. I get it. But what we want to do is encourage the children to make sure that they are organizing and that they are learning. The whole important point is that they are learning the skill to remain organized. That's the whole point. Because when you're no longer there to show them how to do it, we want to make sure that they are doing it on their own so that success follows them for the rest of their life. That's the whole point. Okay, so let me review. So what you want to do is you want to success proof your home. That's what I'm talking about today. Evidence of success. How do I know that success lives in your home? We want to make sure that we are setting our kids up for success. We want to make sure that we are doing our part to make sure that our babies are successful, not only now, but for the rest of their life. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's not like a light switch that you turn on and off. We need to make sure that our children are successful by teaching them and giving them the strategies and the tools that they need to be successful. So the very first thing that I want to tell you all about is to organize and make sure that they are organizing their book bag and their area, that their work area, their desk, or whatever area that they actually work and do their homework. And then the second thing, you want to take stock in what they already have and then make sure that you're stocking up on those things that they don't have. And why is that important? Because imagine if you go to the doctor and you walk in the room and the doctor walks in the room and he says, okay, let me take your blood pressure. Oh, wait a minute. Let me go and get the blood pressure cuff. Oh, wait a minute. Let me go. I'm going to give you an immunization, but let me go and get the shot. Let me go and get this. You will look at that doctor like, are you okay? Like, you come in here, you're not even ready. You're not even prepared. What if you take your car to the mechanic and before he can work on your car, he got to drive back home to get his tools? You're going to look at that mechanic like, something is wrong. So if we expect that people in our environment are ready to work, why don't we make sure that our kids are ready to work? When it's time for them to do their homework, everything that they need should be right there in front of them. Pen, pencil, calculator, books, notebooks, paper, whatever they're going to need right there, including even a drink of water, sometimes even a little snack. We want to make sure that they have all of that because we don't want anything hindering them from their success. Okay? All right, fam. Thank you all so much. I am so glad that you all joined me. Thank you all for stopping by. I see so many of you are here, and thank you for joining me. And what I'm going to do, because I know that this is not enough, I know me giving you these 2 strategies to organize and then to take inventory and stock up, I know these 2 strategies just aren't enough for you. So what I'm actually working on, I'm going to take this weekend, I'm actually working on something that is going to give you all a whole toolkit of how to be successful, of how to turn your home into a place of success, so that if anybody walks in, that they know that success lives in your home. So that's what I'm going to be working on for the weekend. So look for me to come back to you at some earlier part of next week, and I'll have that success toolkit ready for you all. And if you have any questions, you all can DM me. And thank you all so much for watching, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.